close your eyes and imagine yourself drifting through the vast expanse of space, leaving behind the blue jewel of Earth, leaving behind the cloudy hell of Venus. We are hurtling towards the center of the solar system, where the light becomes blinding and harsh enough to tear your retina. Before us is the gatekeeper of the solar system, a small, solitary world full of scars. The ancient Romans called it Mercury, the messenger god with winged shoes, the fastest runner in the sky. But we call it Sao Thủy. Do not let the name evoking water deceive you. This is not the kingdom of the deep blue ocean. This is a tomb of rock, where the harshness of the universe reaches the pinnacle of paradox. Today, we will conduct a landing on the surface of this forgotten planet. Prepare yourself, for the place we are about to arrive is a land of extremes, where burning fire and eternal frost exist just one step apart. We are approaching orbit. The first impression that strikes your eyes is a strange familiarity. Mercury looks exactly like our moon, a gray, dead sphere pitted with impact craters. There are no clouds, no rivers, no forests, only rock, dust, and the absolute silence of the vacuum. But do not be too quick to judge by appearance. The moon is a corpse that has cooled down, while Mercury is a monster hiding under a cracked rock crust. Look out the ship's window. The first thing that frightens you is not the planet below, but the sky above. It is pitch black. Although the sun is shining brilliantly, the sky remains a dark velvet curtain full of stars. That is because Mercury has almost no atmosphere. Without gas molecules to scatter blue light like on Earth, the light here travels in straight lines, sharp and cruel. And look at the sun. Oh my God, look at that monster. At an average distance of only 58 million kilometers, the sun here looks 3 times larger than when viewed from Earth. It is no longer a gentle bright disk, but a giant nuclear reactor roaring right overhead. You can clearly see the sunspots, the tongues of plasma fire curling on the surface of the host star. Its light is 7 times stronger than what we are used to. Without specialized filters, your eyes would be permanently blinded in an instant. Now, activate the braking engines and begin landing. Our destination is the boundary between day and night, the place known as the Terminator Line. This is the only place where you can survive long enough to witness the madness of this planetary physics. When the ship touches down, rock dust flies up but falls back very quickly. Gravity here is weaker than Earth, only about 38%, but still enough to keep our feet on the ground. Stepping out of the ship, you immediately feel the eerie silence. There is no wind, no rustling sound, no noise. All communication can only be done via radio. But look at the thermometer on your protective suit. If you step to the side illuminated by the sun, the number will jump to 430 degrees Celsius. To give you an idea, this temperature is enough to melt lead and zinc instantly. The rock under your feet is being heated to the point where it expands and emits soundless cracking noises. Ultraviolet radiation pours down like rain bombs, sterilizing every germ of life. This is the furnace of the solar system. Many people mistakenly believe Mercury is the hottest planet because it is closest to the sun. But no, that title belongs to Venus with its thick, heat-trapping atmosphere. Mercury, because it has no atmosphere to trap heat, heat comes and goes very quickly. And this is what creates the flip side of the coin. Turn your back to the sun and step into the shadow region. Just one step. The temperature plummets dramatically. From positive 430 degrees Celsius, it plunges straight down to negative 180 degrees Celsius. colder than even the harshest winter nights on Saturn or Jupiter. The temperature difference between day and night is up to 600 degrees, the largest temperature range in the entire solar system. You are standing on a bipolar world. The front is an inferno, the back is a freezing hell. If you do not have a high-tech protective suit, your body will be both roasted on the front and frozen solid into ice on the back at the same time. But the strangeness of Mercury does not lie only in the temperature. Look down at your feet. Look at the structure of the ground. Space geologists call Mercury the shrinking planet. You will see giant cliffs, kilometers high and extending for hundreds of miles, cutting across the impact craters. They are called Rupes, or fault cliffs. Why are they here? Imagine Mercury is like a fresh apple. When the apple dries out, its skin wrinkles. Mercury is the same. Over 4 billion years, the planet's core cooled and contracted. Because the outer rock crust is hard and brittle, it cannot contract elastically, so it is forced to crack and slide over itself, forming these giant wrinkles. This planet is literally shrinking. Its radius has decreased by about 7 kilometers since its formation. You are standing on a world that is aging and shrinking in pain. Mentioning the planetary core, we touch upon the greatest mystery of Mercury. If we could use a giant X-ray machine to scan this planet, you would see an absurdity. Its crust and mantle rock layer are thin, just like the peel of an orange. Meanwhile, the giant iron core occupies up to 85% of the planet's radius. Mercury is almost a giant iron cannonball floating in space, only covered by a thin layer of rock dust on the outside. Why is its structure so peculiar? Computer simulations suggest a terribly violent past. Perhaps in the early days, Mercury was much larger than it is now, twice its current size. But then a wandering celestial body the size of Earth or Mars slammed into it at cosmic speed. It was not a gentle collision. It was destruction. That thunderous blow blew away the entire rock crust and most of Mercury's mantle into space, turning them into cosmic dust. Only the heavy iron core survived and reformed into the scarred planet we see today. Mercury is the crippled survivor of the most catastrophic interplanetary traffic accident in history, and it is that giant iron core, occupying an overwhelming proportion, that has created something Venus and Mars both crave but do not have: a magnetic field. Although it rotates very slowly, a day on Mercury is as long as 59 Earth days. Its core is still partially liquid and still moving. This creates a magnetic field surrounding the planet. However, do not rejoice too soon. This magnetic field is only 1% as strong as Earth's. It is not enough to stop the ferocious solar wind. Standing here, you will witness an invisible but deadly phenomenon: magnetic tornadoes. The solar wind, carrying high-energy charged particles, constantly attacks Mercury's weak magnetic field. Sometimes they tear through this shield, creating giant conduits, pouring hot plasma directly from the sun onto the planet's surface. If you stand under such a plasma rain, no protective suit can save you. The ground will glow, atoms get excited and evaporate into space, forming a long tail like a comet behind the planet. Mercury is the only planet with a fragile sodium atmosphere tail stretching for millions of miles. But the most shocking thing is not fire, not iron, but something you least expect in this place near the sun: water. Yes, water, in the form of eternal ice. Drive the rover towards Mercury's North Pole. The further you go towards the pole, the lower the sun gets on the horizon. The shadows of the impact craters get longer and longer. And there are craters so deep that sunlight never, I repeat, never reaches their bottoms. Those are the permanently shadowed regions. At the bottom of these deep craters, the temperature remains stable at -170 degrees Celsius. Despite the fact that a few dozen miles away rock is melting, here is an eternal freezer. Data from NASA's Messenger spacecraft confirmed. Under the bottom of these craters are billions of tons of water ice. This ice layer is meters thick, pure and clean. Where do they come from? Perhaps from stray comets that crashed here billions of years ago. Water from the comets evaporated, then migrated to the poles, fell into the cold traps, and stayed there forever. Imagine the irony of creation. The planet most burned is the place keeping the most pristine water ice deposits in the solar system. An icy oasis hidden in an inferno. Standing on the edge of that pitch-black abyss, looking down at the shimmering ice blurred under the reflected starlight, you suddenly realize the cruel beauty of the universe. Mercury is not just a dead rock. It is a museum of extremes. It keeps memories of the chaotic early days of the solar system, of the collisions that built the planets. Our journey on Mercury pauses here, next to this eternal ice mine. But its story is not over. Beneath that fragile crust, the giant iron core is still cooling day by day, causing the planet to continue shrinking. In the sky, the sun is still aging and swelling, threatening to swallow its smallest child in a few billion years. Mercury teaches us a lesson about resilience. Although stripped of its protective crust, although burned and frozen at the same time, it still exists, still races diligently around the sun as a silent witness of time. Next time, when you see a tiny, faint speck of light following the sun at dawn or dusk, remember, it is not just a speck of light. It is a world of iron, of fire, of ice, and of mysteries waiting for humanity to return to explore.